All right. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Green Bay Packers. And why are the Green Bay Packers 0-16? Good. They suck. Man, that gets me every time. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anybody has anything to say, please feel free and fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Cowboys 32. I'm following the Cowboys, the Cowgirls, and the She-Golds game. Going live here, so I don't have it on the TV or nothing like that. So I got to follow it on my phone. 24-13, Dallas to Ferguson. 32-yard pass play down to the Eagles, 28. Eagles, their defense just blows. Absolutely, they blow. Not that I'm really pulling for the Cowboys. I can't stand both the teams, but it's nice to see, just the Eagles last week just totally dominated. This week so far. That so far not looking too good. The She-Golds, they're absolute gutless, pathetic, horrible, disgustingly putrid, bad defense that he's given up. 300 yards so far, 303 yards. Giving up almost 20 first downs, and we're like halfway through the third quarter. So yeah, their defense is going to give up over 400 yards of offense once again. They're just absolute trash. Absolute trash. But game's not over. Cowboys are driving now. But hey, before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. That's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, just a little farther down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. And the one underneath it, to me, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 7 trillion years from now, it'll be Twitter once again. To me, I'm an old fart, right? Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not calling it. It's Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute guarantee. I put stuff in there every day, Giants related, of course, So it says, if you want to follow me on Twitter, please, I will follow you back. That's an absolute promise. And then also, the top link, right above that one, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's a group. We have over 7,300 members. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I am putting stuff in this group every day. And not only that, do I put stuff in there, but the members post stuff in there as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. Please become a member. Join the group. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, well, all that stuff said, done, and out of the way with. Well, we got ourselves a big game going on there tomorrow. Right, big game. Let's see here. Well, the playoffs, it's got playoffs. Well, the fleeting Giants playoff hopes here. Let's see here. let's type this in here. NFL standings, because I know I tell you what, man, the Seahawks, ever since they traded for Leonard Williams, I think they've won one game. And they just keep losing left and right, and their defense is absolutely horrible. Even with the addition of Leonard Williams, they're 6-7. So the Rams are 6-7, the Seahawks are 6-7, Giants are 4-8, Commanders are 4-9. So the Vikings, they won 3-0. They kicked a field goal with about a minute and a half to go in the game. And can you imagine going? What the heck would that be? 58 and a half minutes with no scoring in Vegas. They won 3-0. Holy cow. I remember there was a game that I don't know when the hell it was, 73, 74, somewhere around there. The Vikings, they played the Packers. I think it was at home. I think the Vikings won. I think they won 3-0. Maybe it was 71, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, there ain't many 3-0 ball games, especially anymore in this pass-happy league. But 3-0. So finally, there's another team that's above 500, but there's so many other teams. I mean, look at the South. The Buccaneers are 6-7. The Falcons are 6-7. The Saints are 6-7. Wow, he kicked another field goal, a 59-yarder. Wow, this dude Aubrey or whatever, he kicked a 60-yarder and a 59-yarder. Holy cow! He kicked the field goal, but they're not adding it to the score here. Why are they not adding it to the score there? Kind of things to make. Oh, there he goes. 27-13. In about 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 27-13. So, I mean, there's a lot of mediocrity. I mean, if the Giants, the Giants got a long way to go. I mean, the Giants would have won tomorrow, they'd be 5-8. Now there's 3 games, right? But I mean, you look at it like between the Cowboys and Eagles, you got your division winner and you have a wild card. That's a lock, guaranteed. You could just whatever, take and do with it. You want those 2 teams are in the playoffs. Let's see. Then you have right now the Vikings are 7-6, okay, with their 3-0 win. So basically, you got all these other teams that are under 500 battling for one more playoff spot. Now I said, you look. I mean, there's one of the teams in the South is going to, ipso facto, going to be in there just by the fact that somebody there has to wind up winning the division. Okay, so you might even have somebody there winning it with a losing record. I mean, like right now, apparently the Buccaneers are in first place with a record of 6-7. That's a horrible, absolutely trashed, absolutely horrible division. Absolute garbage. Those teams, they're just horrible, absolutely horrible. I said, then you got the Vikings right now would be, they're in there with a record of 7-6. Then you have, and right now the Packers, now they're 6-6. So if they were to win, they would obviously have a winning record, and they would be the other wild card team. But still 4 weeks left to go, so a lot of things can still happen. But I'm saying, but you look, I mean, between like maybe the Saints and the Falcons or the Bucks, 2 of those teams would be, battling out for a wild card. But I said you got the Packers who are 6-6, the Seahawks are 6-7, the Rams are 6-7. You got the Giants are 4-8, are still pretty far down there. They got a ways to go. The Giants would have to probably pretty much have to win at least 4 out of the final 5 games if they're going to have a chance. I'm saying, just have a chance. They would have to. For them to sneak in, they could. I could see maybe 8-9 or something, but still, they would have to beat the Packers. They would have to beat the Saints, and I was not impressed at all with the Saints today, not at all whatsoever. They scored 28 points. One of it was on a block punt, for a touchdown. It took them a long time. They scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and then they scored like 2 touchdowns, I think, in the fourth quarter. So their offense was not very good at all. Carolina was doing some walking up and down the field. They just weren't scoring any points. And this is Carolina, right? I was not thrilled at all with the Saints. But I said the Rams, that game is winnable. But I said, but then you got the 2 games against the Eagles. And this is going to be a very, those games with the Eagles, those games are going to be huge for Philadelphia. because they'd be battling it out not only to try to win the division, but I was reading something along the lines like what it said was if the what we got if the it's a little odd, right? If the Cowboys win tonight, okay, they will be in first place. But however, if both teams win the rest of their games with 3 losses, and if they both go 14-3, then the Eagles would win. That was something that I read. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I mean, so those games at the end, all those games are going to be, the Eagles are going to be fired up. They're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to kick some Giants behind without question. So those games are going to mean a heck of a lot to the Eagles. Even if it doesn't matter, like what would you say? Even if it doesn't matter, say they wind up winning and the Cowboys lose a game or so or something like that. I mean, it's still going to matter. Like probably. Who gets the number 1 seed, which would wind up being huge. Remember, let's not forget, at the end of last season, right? The Cowboys, not the Cowboys, the 49ers, Brock Purdy getting injured. Obviously, that was huge. But if both teams stay healthy, okay, it's going to be a nice size advantage for the 49ers to have the game at their home. And for the Eagles, obviously they still got their rear ends handed to them by the 49ers, but they would rather have the game in Philadelphia, especially if it's really cold and all of that. It might take a little bit away from the passing game, but the Eagles would definitely want to have that game at home. So I mean, these final few games, for both teams. Now, if you look, I mean, the Cowboys have a tough schedule. They have a tough schedule. What the heck we had here? Coming up, the Eagles have the Seahawks, and then they have basically 3 bye weeks coming up after this. I mean, they have obviously the Cowboys tonight. Let's see here. Then they got the Seahawks. Then they got to play the Giants twice, and they got the Cardinals. So they got the Cardinals at home. They got the Giants at home. They finished the season on the road against the Giants. Okay, once again, So the Eagles, I said, Eagles have a couple tough games. They got this Cowboy game here, which they might wind up losing right now. 2 minutes to go. They're down by 14 points, but they got the ball and they're driving. So, right. So this game still is certainly, without question, is not over. But they got the Seahawks game, right? Now this one here the Seahawks game could bid well for the Seahawks / Cowboys, however you want to look at it, because the Seahawks can move the ball. Eagles don't have a great defense. Eagles have a good offense. Eagles can move the ball. Seahawks their defense is absolutely just trash with a capital T. So so that game, the Seahawks-Eagle game, that's going to be a big one. I'm sure the Seahawks will be putting up some points, and they're fighting for their playoff lives now. They were 5-2 or 6-2 or 6-3 or something like that. Now they're 6-7. They're fighting for their playoff lives. They traded for Leonard Williams, and they gave up a 2nd-round pick, and they still may not even make the playoffs. I mean, wow. Giving up a 2nd-round pick. How good does Joe Shane look nowadays, huh? Wow. I'm saying, but that week, the game next week is, with the Eagles and the Seahawks, that's huge. But I mean, if we look at the Cowboys, I mean, they do not have a picnic at all. I mean, let's see it. So they're playing the Eagles, and once again, I said this game is far from over. The Eagles, what do we got? We got a minute to go. It's 4th and 8. Dallas 30. I guess they might going to try to kick a field goal here and make it 27-16. Let's see here. Did they kick a field goal? It's 4th and 8. Oh, they went for it. What? That's I guess when you're that stupid. Okay. Jalen Hurts short pass to DeVonta Smith. They needed 8 yards, and they passed the DeVonta Smith. He got 1 yard. I mean, talking about just stupid. Absolutely, just don't matter to me. You need 8 yards. Let's pass it to DeVonta Smith for 1 yard. Okay, that's good. It makes sense. That's the Eagles for you. Yeah. But anyway, I'm saying the Cowboys, they have to go on the road. They have to play Buffalo, who just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Then they got to go on the road and they got to play the Dolphins. My son and I will be there. That's Christmas Eve, 4/25, Christmas Eve. Going to see that game. And then the Cowboys got to come home and play the Lions. And then they got to finish up the season on the road against the Commanders. Okay, and the Commanders, sometimes can give the Cowboys a hard time, especially if it's on the road and all that. So, I mean, the Cowboys, listen, the Cowboys. Cowboys played the Seahawks, then they got to play, they're playing the Eagles now, then they got to play the Bills, then they got to play the Dolphins on the road, then they got to play the Lions at home. So the Cowboys have a very tough stretch coming up for them. So even if they were to win tonight, which, okay, it's the end of the third period, they're up by 14 points. Even if they were to win tonight, I mean, their next 3 games are really tough. And 2 of them are on the road. They got to play in Buffalo and then they got to play in Miami. So, even if they do want to win it, it's tonight still does not mean but it's going to be tough game, tough sledding for them. But I mean, just kind of goes to show you that also if you figure that there's no way the Eagles are sitting anybody. They're not sitting anybody. Especially the first time when we play Philadelphia in a couple weeks from now in Philly. They ain't sitting nobody. But Jair Alexander is ruled out versus the Giants. Alexander's shoulder was originally called questionable for the game on Saturday when Green Bay released its final injury report of the week. But Green Bay Packers have officially ruled out a second player from competing against the Giants on Monday Night Football. Team made it clear that receiver Christian Watson, hamstring, that's good. They have some good young wide receivers, and they're the youngest team in the NFL. So, I mean, regardless of what they wind up doing at the end of the season, as far as playoffs and all that, the future certainly looks bright for the Green Bay Packers. Young team, right? Certainly, they think they have their quarterback. They got some wide receivers. They got some stuff to build with, without question. But Christian Watson with a hamstring will not be playing. Thank goodness. And Sunday, team officially downgrading cornerback Jair Alexander shoulder from questionable to out. So that's good. That's good. That's going to help Tommy DeVito without question. Alexander hasn't been on the field since week 9, as he's now set to miss his 5th straight game. So he's also missed 3 games from week 3 to week 7, bringing in his total missed games this season to 8. So that's certainly going to help the Giants' cause. That's for sure. Let's see. The wild card at the cornerback position is if Stokes returns from injury reserve this week. Head coach Matt LaFleur stated that Stokes has a chance to play and contribute on the defensive side of the ball, as he's now had significant practice time. Stokes began the season on the physically unable to perform list upon his return to the 53-man roster. Stokes played a special teams only role for the Packers before pulling his hamstring. It appears that whenever Stokes does come back, the team is confident that he can get some playing time on defense. Well, so they have some guys that are a little bit banged up. So a little bit banged up. All right, so let's get some, let's see here. What we got? A little game preview here. So I got some stats here from Giants.com. Let's see here. This is 3 weeks ago. The Giants season was teetering on irrelevance. A 3-game losing streak left them with a record of 2-8. Not pretty. Another defeat would have guaranteed before Thanksgiving that they would finish with a losing record. The team's top 2 quarterbacks were on injured reserve, but the Giants pulled themselves back from the brink. Rookie quarterback Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmigiano DeVito led them to victories against Washington and New England, coming out of their bye and entering their home game tomorrow night against the Green Bay Packers. The Giants are 4-8 and still well outside the NFC playoff picture. Oh, yeah, I would say so without question. But they have a hope which would have dissolved with defeats in their previous 2 games. Let's see, he says, that's the crazy part about this league, cornerback Adoree Jackson said. It's always like a horse race. The ones that are in the front runners get out all the time, and then you see the ones in the back start to creep up, and then when they get even, somebody has to separate. For us to still have the opportunity to be in that hunt is a blessing. The confidence and swagger never changed. We were just taking it day by day at a time because we know what situation we are in. CeeDee Lamb with another reception. Boy, he's doing good. He's just carving and slicing and dicing. Let's see, box score. Where's CeeDee Lamb at here? He is slicing and dicing up that Eagles. ABC, was it just 5 receptions? 5 for 68 yards and a touchdown. So he's slicing and dicing. All right. The reality is the Giants have a slim chance to make the playoffs. They certainly can't afford to lose any of their last 5 games. I mean, I think if they went 4-5, I think they'd have a chance. I mean, I really can't see them sweeping Philadelphia in any way, shape, or form. I mean, maybe if some way the Giants played the final game at home, and if maybe the Eagles had a big enough lead, and if maybe they didn't need the final game for whatever reason it was, right? They had the NFC East sewn up and their playoff spot was locked in. I could see them maybe quite possibly wanting to maybe rest some of their starters. Then just maybe the Giants would have a chance at home against Philly. If the Giants played their starters, if all their starters were healthy and the Eagles were playing their backups, then the Giants just might have a chance to beat the Eagles, right? But, I mean, the Giants would definitely have to beat the Saints. They would have to beat the Packers. They would definitely have to beat the Rams without question. And the thing that just kind of makes it tough is because there's so many teams above the Giants. They would all those other teams would basically just have to almost like lose there's 4 games left. All the teams on top of the Giants would have to lose like maybe 3 out of their final 4. And you're not just talking about like one team. Okay, well, if the Saints lose 3 out of the final 4, then the Giants can make it. Well, no, you're talking about the Saints, the Falcons, the Rams, the Vikings, the Packers. You're talking about the Seahawks. It's so many teams above the Giants would have to lose like 3 out of their final 4 games and the Giants therefore would have to win 4 of their final 5. So you're asking for an awful lot. All right. The Packers have won 3 consecutive games to improve to 6-6 and currently hold the 7th and last seed in the NFC playoffs. The Giants are 12th. Let's see what we got. Defensive pass interference, 10 yards. So the Eagles, without question, I mean, you can say Eagles get the refs in their pockets and this, that, and all that stuff. Eagles don't have the refs in their pockets tonight. They've had a bunch of penalties called on them tonight. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I hope they put up a 40 burger on the Eagles. I can't stand both teams, but especially because I'm in Philly country. So, but I mean, you're asking for so much to happen for the Giants to try to get in the playoffs. If it happens, it happens. But I think I seen it was like less than a 1% chance or so. That was before this weekend started. Now a bunch of these teams lost. So, I mean, maybe the Giants, maybe they have a 2% chance now. But you can be pretty much sure that if they wind up losing against the Packers, it'll be pretty much just about nil. Right. Let's see here. But they have the league's third. I'd say the Giants are 12th and eager to fight to the finish, but they have the league's 3rd toughest remaining strength of schedule because they got Green Bay, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and the Rams. And all those the teams are combined. And the Rams are a combined 27-21. They faced the Eagles twice. So since we're 2 games out, veteran guard Justin Pugh said we play 3 other teams like that, which are all those. I mean, as I said, the Saints, the Packers, and the Rams are all above the Giants, fighting for that final wild card spot. So anything can happen in this league. It truly is one game at a time. We got to go out there and we got to win a football game on Monday night, and that's the only thing that matters. Giants return to work Monday following their bye week, and Coach Brian Daboll informed DeVito he would remain a starting quarterback. Speculation had risen that Tyrod Taylor would regain the starting job after coming off injured reserve. Taylor, who suffered a rib injury on October 29th, will be the backup. DeVito will make his third consecutive start and first in prime time. He has not thrown an interception in his last 66 passes and posted a passer rating of 137.7 and 103.9 in victories against the Commanders and Patriots to become the first undrafted rookie quarterback to record a 100-plus passer rating in consecutive starts in the common draft era since 1967. He is the fifth undrafted rookie since 1967 to win two of his first three starts. And he is the first undrafted rookie quarterback to start a game against Bill Belichick and beat him. First, in his rookie season, a rookie undrafted quarterback to start against the Bill Belichick team and beat him. So. Of course, he wouldn't have beaten them if the Patriots had any type of an offense. But DeVito says it's an awesome opportunity, just like any other game except on Monday night, right? But yeah, it's an awesome opportunity, so just enjoy and go play football. Says DeVito's presence, personality, and production have energized the entire team and is one reason the players believe that the season can still have a happy ending. Now, we'll see. Saquon, somebody asked him, he said, yes, what's the object? And Saquon's like, we're still in this mother, you know, the other word, to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. We're not looking too far. We're not looking in on the hunt or the playoff pictures, but we can take care of what we've got to take care of. Everyone can say what they want about the season, but it's a week 14, right? And everything we want is still there. So we don't need any extra motivation. Every game, field goal, 30-13. Now they're up by 3 scores. What do we got? 8, 9, 10, about 9.5 minutes to go. And the Cowboys are up by 3 scores. Let's see. I've been saying it, and I always believe it. I know it sounds like we talk all the time, and it just sounds like I'm just beating a dead horse when I'm saying it, but I truly, truly believe that I'm only one of those guys, and I'm in a fight, and I got my ass kicked for 11 rounds. The 12th round in my head, if I still compete, I could still knock you out and get the win. So, let's see here. The important question for the remainder of the season is where will they be late Monday night? The meeting with the Green Bay is the Giants' 1,400 regular season game in the history of the franchise. You just imagine this will be the 1,400 game they've ever played. Wow. They can earn their 400th home victory. They're 719, 646, and 34 overall. They're 399 and 317 times at home. So they don't have much of an overall. I mean, you talk about you're going back from the Polo Grounds to Yankee Stadium to the Yale Bowl to Shea Stadium to Giant Stadium and now to MetLife Stadium. They played basically 700 home games. They've won 400 and lost 300. So I mean, it's not much of a home field advantage for the Giants ever. DeVito's last time primetime start was for Illinois against Iowa on October 8, 2022. The Illini won 9-6. There you go. But DeVito left the game and did not return because of an ankle injury he suffered when Iowa linebacker Lucas Van Ness tackled him for no gain late in the first quarter. Van Ness is now a rookie backup linebacker for the Packers who has 2 sacks this season. DeVito threw for 4 touchdown passes and no interception in his last 2 games while taking 15 sacks. 15 sacks in 2 games. I mean, he's holding onto the ball way too long. The last NFL player to throw 0 interceptions while being sacked 15 or more times over any 2-game span was Houston's David Carr in 2005. DeVito is the only player since 1970 to do so while also throwing for 3+ touchdown passes. So, right. Giants are hosting their second Monday night game of the season, also October 2nd versus Seattle, and we know how that debacle went. It is the second time in the 54-year history of Monday Night Football and the second time in 4 seasons the Giants are 2-time hosts in the same year. I remember, it took the Giants, I think, the Monday Night Football started in 1970. The Giants played in the 70s. Hold on. 70, 71, 72, 73, 75, 77, 70. They played 7 times in the 70s. They never played a home game. It wasn't until I think 1981 or 1982 was their first home game ever on Monday Night Football. So they played 7 games on Monday Night Football, and everyone was on the road. Let's see here. In 2020, the Giants opened up at home against Pittsburgh and later faced Tampa Bay on Monday nights. Yeah, it was just what a debacle that one was. I mean, I remember the Pittsburgh game. Supposed to be a big game, and they wound up just looking horrible. Was it Saquon had forgot what the heck it was. He had 13 carries for 19 yards or something. Just absolutely horrible night. The Giants are 25, 47, and 1 on Monday Night Football, including 9 and 15 at home. So the Giants played at home 24 times on Monday Night Football and they have a losing record. They're 9 and 15. They've been playing Monday Night Football for 54 years, and the Giants only won on Monday Night Football at home 9 times. Absolutely just atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Before their bye, the Giants had at least 2 takeaways in each of their 3 consecutive games for the first time since December 4th through 18th, 2016. Right? At least 2 takeaways in 3 straight games. The Giants are going to need that. Absolutely. They have 9 takeaways in their last 2 games, their highest total since September 21st to 25th, 2014. So, I mean, without question, the Giants are definitely going to need, definitely going to need some turnover. And Tommy DeVito is going to be huge. He can't turn the ball over. And once again, that's so easy to be said. Just don't turn the ball over. We got a good chance. I mean, that's so easy to say. I mean, the Packers have a good pass rush, very good pass rush. Now, if we look at the defensive wise here, let's see here. The Packers' rushing defense is not very good. Team defense. Let's see now here. Let's see. The Giants are giving up 4.8 yards per carry, but on rushing, but the Packers are giving up 4.5 yards a carry. So this would be a real good game for a good heavy dose of Saquon. I mean, we have not. How many? Let's see. What does he have here? All right, let's see here. There we go. Just trying to see. I mean, Saquon is not really. There we are. What does he have here? How many carries? I mean, he has 28 receptions. I mean, really very sad numbers. I mean, we played 28. We played 12 games and he has 28 receptions. Basically, a little over 2 receptions a game. Really sad. He has 165 carries. Right, 12 games. Just not enough. Not enough. We need a nice, good, heavy dose of Saquon. He's averaging 4.2 yards a carry. Breida's averaging 2.5 yards a carry. I mean, just Eric Gray's averaging 2.1 yards a carry. I mean, just, if you can't run the ball, if you can't protect the court, it's so tough to win in this league. This is one of the reasons why also I was talking about the Giants really need to really just start, it's so easy to say, I understand it all and everything, but to beef up their lines, I mean, you want to compete with the big boys. You want to compete with the Eagles, right? The Cowboys. You got to get those lines. I mean, and I'm kind of speechless as far as what it might be. Is it a little bit of Bobby Johnson, right? Is it a little bit of not being able to develop the guys, making maybe some bad draft picks, exactly sure what it is, but I mean, it's so easy to say, well, just draft the tackle and just draft the guard, just throw them in there. You're good to go. All right, here we go. As we've seen, it's not always that easy. But I mean, the Giants really need to address the offensive defensive lines. I mean, especially because if you figure, right, I was talking about this, I guess, last night. I mean, Azeez Ojulari, where are you? Has there been Azeez Ojulari sighting this season? I mean, he was pretty special last year when he was on the field. I mean, I don't know what's going on this season. I mean, it's almost like night and day. I mean, when he's on the field this season compared to last season. I mean, last year he looked like a rock star when he was on the field, right? I mean, we need another edge rusher without question, right? And then we're going to need somebody to be next to Dexter Lawrence. I mean, you don't want to be going up. I mean, you look at some of these other teams, they just almost have like wave after wave of like the defensive. Yeah, they got 2 or 3 guys running off. They got another 2 or 3 guys come in that can sack your rear end, and put up some good defense. I mean, the Giants though, and then I said on the offensive line, we got to, Shane's got his work cut out for him. I mean, do you get rid of Bobby Johnson, bring somebody else in here, right? I was saying, I said this last night. I think I might have said this even before. You can kind of go both ways with Evan Neal, but I mean, it's like, man, if we're picking like number 6, 7, 8 or something like that, and once again, please forgive my stupidity. There's the tackle from Penn State, all right, and then there's Alt from Notre Dame. Now, a lot of what I'm hearing, right, is that those guys are really nice, right? I mean, it's like almost kind of like just take them and just, there you go. We'll see you in 10 years, guys. All right. Throw them out there, tackle, and we're good to, what I mean? It would really be tough to, if you pass on one of those guys. Well, we're going to give him another year. Maybe this season, his third, maybe he'll stay healthy. Okay, and he'll work on his craft and this, that, and all. But what we got? Hold on. Wow, what? Jaylen's pass to DeVonta Smith for 22 yards. Fumbles recovered by the hooker man at the Dallas 12. Wow. Cowboys, man. Eagles is falling apart, baby. Loving it. But anyway, back to Evan Neal. I mean, he's had 2 injured seasons. He's only played this will be his 30th game he possibly could have played in. He's only played in actually in 20 of them, so he's missed a third of his games. It's like how many seasons are we going to go? And it's certain you never want to give up on talent, but so maybe we can move him into guard, right? But I mean, it's how many seasons you go, well, let's give him another season. I mean, maybe this season he'll stay healthy, and if he stays, we'll see where he is. And then we'll, it would just be so tough to pass on one of those tackles, because then you almost know, right? You got your 2 tackles in, right? If you draft Alt, right, or the guy from Penn State, you may put him right tackle. Then you got Andrew, Michael Schmitz, you got your center, and then you can try to put Evan Neal in at guard, right? At least one thing with Evan Neal, right? The guy's, he's going to work on his craft. He's going to do everything humanly possible to be the best player he can be, whatever position he's at. But you do know that when he's at guard, okay, right, he's not staring at an edge rusher who's like maybe a wide 9 or something like that. As soon as they snap the ball, Evan Neal's like, backing up. He's got this freakish athlete, charging in on him, right? And Evan Neal's got to try to, stop him. That doesn't wind up happening, when you're at a guard. He's not on his own island. I mean, Evan Neal's very good. My dog is, he's sleeping. But, Evan Neal's very good at double team blocking, decent at, run blocking, so, I mean, getting him in where it can be maybe in more of a phone booth. He's tall. Some might say he's a little too tall maybe for a guard, but he's strong. He's like, 340? I mean, he looks like a sequoia tree. I mean, if he just has to worry about a small area, especially the guys he'd be going up against might be a little bit heavier in weight. That they're not going to have guys that'll be able to run past them, right? So I mean, Shane's got big decisions coming up, as I said. But if we ever get to one of those tackles, and if the Giants are on the board in one of those tackles, man, it'd be tough to pass up on that, boy. But it is what it is. But anyway, I said that the Packers, their run defense is not very good. And I said this would be a good game for a nice heavy dose of some Saquon, without question. Now the Packers on offense, nothing super spectacular. I mean, what do we got here? Total yards here. Dolphins are in first place. Shocking there. Packers, right? The Packers are 17th, right in the middle of the road, right? Of course, the Giants are in last place. The Giants, unbelievable. Giants are in last place as far as yards, and I don't really see it changing much tomorrow. I mean, not that the Packers have a phenomenal defense. It's just that the Giants' offense is just, it is what it is. Passing yards. Let's see. What do the Packers got here? Packers, once again, right in the Packers are 18th in passing yards, 2,696. The problem is the Giants are, once again, last. The Giants are the only team in the NFL who are under 2,000 passing yards. Giants have 1,800 passing yards, 1,819. Every other team is over 2,000 passing yards. Even the Jets. Isn't that bad? Isn't that bad? Right? Just goes to show you. I said this, without question, is going to be a big game for Dewey. He can't turn the ball over, right? Very, very important. Now, I said a good dose of Saquon. Can we get Dexter Lawrence in there? The thing is that, how's his hamstring? Right? Is he going to be able to push the pocket? Is he going to be able to do decently, against the run? It's going to be tough. A'Shawn Robinson, he's also been dealing with some injury himself too. We're going to need to get some pressure on Love. I said, it's going to have to be a big game from Kayvon. Hopefully have to get some pressure in there because whoever's on the other side is almost kind of like non-existent. Now, Hadi had a good game. He had like a sack and a half, right? But in the one game. But I mean, we have like 21 sacks all season long. I mean, let's see. Let's see here. Some defense. I know the Packers have a few guys that, without question, here we go, sacks. All right, let's go. I got a few guys who can sack some quarterbacks there. Where are the Packers at? Packers have 29 sacks. Giants have 21. Played 12 games. We have 21 sacks. We're not even averaging 2 sacks a game. I mean, absolutely, just unbelievably atrocious. So what we got here. Packers, let's see here. Pressure rate. Let's try this here. Pressure rate. Packers, 23.7 as far as getting pressure on quarterbacks. They were in the upper echelon. The Giants are at in the back half, 20.6. Let's see, missed tackles here. Giants missed tackles, missed 86. I mean, not impressive at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're the fifth worst team as far as missed tackles. So, it's going to be a tough game for the Giants. Tough game. But once again, I think the Packers, without question, they beat the Lions, they beat the Chargers, but they beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, and they beat the Chiefs. So I mean, without question, they're on a little bit of a roll here, and you see what they can do. And the other interesting thing is they haven't the last 16 games in December. They haven't lost. They haven't lost a game in December since 2019. So I mean, they're on a good winning streak here. So I mean, they're good. They're good in December as well too. So it's going to be a tough game. Maybe I'll probably wind up going live maybe for that one in the second half, I guess. As I said, going to need a good dosage of Saquon. Just try to keep pounding the rock. I said a lot of times in the first quarter, those 1 and 2 yard runs. In the second quarter, turn into maybe 2 or 3 yard runs. But then you can stay into the second half if you can stay dedicated to the run. Then those 3, 4, 5 yard runs open up, and then maybe in the third, fourth quarter, whatever. If you're able to, if the game dictates it, if you're in the game and all that, you can still try to pound the rock. that's when, third, fourth quarter, some of those holes start getting a little bit bigger. But I mean, like what happened? I mean, the Patriots don't have a bad defense at all. They have no offense, right? But their defense isn't bad. But I mean, the game that we had against the Patriots, I mean, it was like, oh my God. I think we had 1 7-play drive. I think we had a 6-play drive, one or two 6-play drives. But I think a 7-play drive was the longest drive that the Giants had all game long. I mean, and if we didn't get those turnovers, we probably wouldn't have scored any points at all. We might have been shut out. We might have lost 7-0 to the Patriots. So, it's one thing for Tommy DeVito to not turn the ball over, which would be huge. And I've heard this saying, and it's pretty true. If they're talking about Tommy DeVito, it's like, okay, if the Giants win and if they win not because of Tommy DeVito, okay. But Tommy DeVito does not want to be the reason why the Giants lost the game, right? But, for him, obviously, to throw interceptions and all would be a good reason why the Giants would lose a game. But I said, how many games in a row can you go with 4-play drives, 5-play drives, a 6-play drive? You can't. You got to start consuming the ball. You got to consume the clock, run the ball, and all that stuff. I mean, hopefully the Giants can find them within themselves that get some offense going for this game. Oh my goodness! But as I said, it'll be pretty good. I'll probably go live tomorrow night, so hopefully they can pull out the W. That'd be fantastic. But let's not forget, I said the Packers are on a roll. They're on a roll. But if you start looking at their numbers too, I mean, they did beat the Lions and they did beat the Chiefs. Okay, but you look at their numbers; they're relatively a middle of the pack team, right? But let's also not forget the Giants run their third string quarterback, and their offense is just rather non-existent. So, all right, guys. Well, that pretty much wraps it up here. I'll probably be back. Maybe I'll be live tomorrow night. Go live in the second half of the football game. We'll see what's going on. Monday Night Football, Giants, Packers. I'll see you then. So, whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.